This is a land where history isn't written in books. It's carved into stone, whispered by the wind, and carried in the hearts of its people. A place where prophets once walked, where empires rose and crumbled, and where every grain of sand holds a secret. But beyond the headlines, beyond the conflict, lies another story. One of faith, resilience, and extraordinary coexistence. From underground crusader fortresses to gardens that bloom on sacred hills, this is not just a journey through time, this is a journey into the soul of a land that refuses to be forgotten. This land is defined by extremes. It is a place where the earth plunges to its lowest point, where the world's oldest city endures, and where the forces of conquest, exile, and return have carved its destiny. Nestled at the crossroads of 3 continents, it has witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the clash of civilizations, and the unwavering resilience of millions who have called it home since time itself began. Here, faiths were born, prophets walked, and history is etched into the very stone beneath our feet. A golden dome rises above a land that embodies both belief and conflict, beauty and struggle, transformation and hope. This is a land you must understand in your lifetime. This is Israel and Palestine. Jerusalem, one of the most significant and complex cities in the world, holds a sacred place for billions. More than half the globe's population, 2.3 billion Christians, nearly 2 billion Muslims, and about 15 million Jews, regard it as sacred, their faiths intertwined with its very essence. The city's history is written through devotion, resilience, and profound transformation. Though its name is often linked to peace, Jerusalem has been conquered more than 40 times throughout the ages. This unrelenting cycle of destruction and rebirth has shaped it into a city unlike any other. Long before it became the holy ground for 3 major faiths, Jerusalem was already a city of kings. Its legacy stretches back over 5,000 years, but its most defining moment came around 1000 BCE, when King David made it the capital of ancient Israel. His son, King Solomon, would later build the first temple on the very hill that now bears its name, the Temple Mount. This sacred space is believed to connect the heavens and the earth, a symbol of divine unity and the heart of Jerusalem's profound spiritual significance. Here, where history intertwines with faith, where the past is not just remembered but lived, the struggle for peace and understanding continues, shaping not only the city itself but the souls of all who come to know its powerful, eternal story. Jerusalem's peace was fleeting, as it often was in this land where the heavens meet the earth. In 586 BCE, the Babylonians shattered the temple and exiled the Jewish people, but the story of return was never far behind. Centuries later, under Persian rule, the Jewish people came back, rebuilding the Second Temple, even more magnificent than the first. It became the heart of Jewish worship until 70 CE, when the Romans crushed a revolt and left the city in ruins. Only one wall remained, an enduring testament to survival and faith. The Western Wall, as outsiders came to call it, became a symbol of resilience. For the Jewish people, it was far more than a wall. It was a connection to a past that could never be erased. Today, it stands as Judaism's holiest site, where worshippers press their hands against its ancient stones, slipping prayers into its cracks, silent yet powerful, a quiet reflection of faith that has endured for millennia. Beneath the city, the Western Wall tunnels reveal hidden passageways, relics of a lost temple, buried yet never forgotten, a reminder that history cannot be erased. By the 1st century CE, Jerusalem was under Roman rule and tension filled the streets. Many longed for a leader who would bring hope. This path, now known as the Via Dolorosa, the Way of Sorrows, is walked by millions today. The place of his crucifixion and burial is now the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the most sacred site in Christianity. Inside, the air is thick with the scent of incense, candlelight flickers on ancient stones, and visitors kneel at the stone of anointing, where his body was prepared for burial. Beneath a vast dome, the empty tomb glows with a light that has guided the faithful for centuries, a symbol of resurrection and unwavering belief. Not far from there, on Mount Zion, stands the upper room, where Jesus is said to have shared his last meal with his closest followers. It is a simple space, yet its significance cannot be overstated. what happened there would shape the world forever. In 638 CE, Muslim armies entered Jerusalem, adding another layer of sacredness to this city already rich in faith and history. According to tradition, the Prophet Muhammad was carried from Mecca to Jerusalem on a miraculous night journey, and from a rock on the Temple Mount, he ascended to heaven. Beside it stands Al-Aqsa Mosque, Islam's third holiest site. Before Mecca, Jerusalem was the first direction of Muslim prayer, further cementing the city's role as a spiritual cornerstone of Islam. Today, the Old City of Jerusalem stands as a labyrinth of belief, divided into 4 quarters: Jewish, Christian, Muslim, and Armenian. The Jewish quarter houses the Western Wall, where prayers echo through time, a silent chorus of faith passed down through generations. The Muslim quarter cradles the Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque, where the call to prayer floats over the city's ancient rooftops, binding the faithful to a place of deep reverence. The Armenian quarter, though smaller, carries the weight of one of Christianity's oldest communities, preserving a tradition that stretches back millennia. At the center of it all rises the Tower of David, built upon the fortifications first laid by the Jebusites and later fortified by King Herod. Over the centuries, it has been occupied and reshaped by Romans, Crusaders, and Ottomans. Climbing its ancient ramparts, the sprawling city skyline unfolds before you, a living tapestry of domes, minarets, and history carved into the very stone. Beyond the old city's walls, the Mount of Olives looms above Jerusalem, a sacred place shared by Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. For over 3,000 years, it has served as a Jewish burial ground, its tombs facing the city in anticipation of the Messiah's arrival. For Christians, it is the setting of pivotal moments in the life of Jesus, the Garden of Gethsemane, where he prayed before his arrest. Its ancient olive trees standing as silent witnesses to his final hours. The Church of All Nations, built by 12 nations to honor this sacred place. And the Chapel of the Ascension, marking the spot where, according to tradition, Jesus ascended to heaven. In Islamic tradition, the Mount of Olives is revered as a place of judgment, where a bridge will separate the righteous from the fallen, guiding the faithful to paradise. From the summit, Jerusalem stretches before you, an eternal city of gold, stone, and spirit, where history breathes in every corner. But by the 20th century, Jerusalem's fate would shift, becoming the focal point of modern geopolitical struggles. The establishment of the State of Israel in 1948 intensified disputes over the city's status, and today, it remains at the heart of both Israeli and Palestinian identities. For many Jews, the hope remains that a third temple will one day rise on the Temple Mount, while for Muslims, this sacred place is already one of Islam's holiest sites. But Jerusalem is not only a city of deep history, it is also a city of remembrance and renewal. To the west, Yad Vashem stands as a somber reminder of history's darkest chapters, preserving the memory of the 6 million Jews lost in the Holocaust. In stark contrast, Mahane Yehuda Market bursts with life. Freshly baked bread, fragrant spices, the calls of traders and the hum of locals and visitors. It is a place where ancient traditions meet modern culture, a living testament to a city that, despite its past, never ceases to move forward. Just south of Jerusalem lies Bethlehem, a city steeped in biblical significance. It was here that King David was born, and according to Jewish prophecy, a future ruler was foretold to emerge from this place, a prophecy that Christians believe was fulfilled by the birth of Jesus Christ. The Church of the Nativity, built in the 4th century by Emperor Constantine, marks the traditional site of Christ's birth. Beneath the altar, a silver star symbolizes this momentous event. But Bethlehem is not merely a place of the past, it is alive with Palestinian heritage. Traditional crafts like intricate olive wood carvings and hand-stitched embroidery thrive here, preserving a deep cultural legacy. Yet Bethlehem also carries a more modern story. Its walls, once symbols of division, have become a canvas for political street art, where graffiti, including works by the famous artist Banksy, transform the wall into a striking expression of resistance and identity. Further east, the Judean desert stretches out, barren yet rich in history, harsh yet deeply spiritual. For millennia, it has been a refuge for prophets, rebels, and monks, those seeking survival exile or spiritual enlightenment. This vast wilderness, from the Judean hills to the shores of the Dead Sea, has witnessed some of the most defining moments of history. And at the edge of this desert lies Jericho, one of the world's oldest continuously inhabited cities. It has stood for over 10,000 years, making it one of humanity's earliest urban settlements. Its ancient walls, built around 8,000 years ago, are among the oldest known fortifications, their true purpose still shrouded in mystery, a silent reminder of the people who first called this land home. Jericho is not simply old, it is legendary. According to the Bible, its walls crumbled to the sound of Joshua's trumpets, marking the Israelites' conquest of Canaan. It is also the place where Jesus healed the blind and met Zacchaeus, the tax collector. But how does a city this ancient survive in the unforgiving desert? This is the palm tree paradox. Jericho thrives as an oasis, defying the arid landscape. Underground springs and ingenious irrigation systems have sustained its lush date palm groves for millennia, ensuring life flourishes where it should not. In the heart of the desert, Jericho stands as a testament to the resilience of life itself. Further into the desert lies Qumran, a site that holds one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the 20th century, the Dead Sea Scrolls. The scrolls, believed to have been written by the Essenes, a Jewish sect that lived in the desert, contain biblical texts, hymns, and prophecies, preserving some of the oldest known versions of the Hebrew Bible. They offer a rare and invaluable window into ancient Judaism just before the rise. But why were these scrolls hidden away? And scholars continue to debate it to this day. High above the desert, on a towering plateau, stands Masada, a fortress of strength, sacrifice, and resilience. Built by King Herod the Great between 37 and 4 BCE, this luxurious desert stronghold was an incredible feat of engineering. Create an advanced water system, and even build Roman-style baths. Yet, Masada is remembered not for its grandeur, but for its tragic final stand. In 73 CE, as the Jewish revolt against Rome collapsed, below them, the Roman army laid siege, cutting off all escape. For months, the defenders watched helplessly as thousands of Roman soldiers built an enormous siege ramp, inching ever closer to their walls. When it became clear that defeat was inevitable, the rebels made a heartbreaking decision. They set fire to their belongings and took their own lives, leaving only a few survivors to tell the story. Today, the remains of the Roman siege ramp and encampments stand as a stark reminder of the endurance of the human spirit. But beyond the shadow of empires and the echoes of war, the Judean desert has long been a place of faith and solitude. Tucked into the cliffs of the Kidron Valley, the Mar Saba Monastery has stood for over 1,500 years, one of the oldest continuously inhabited monasteries in the world. Founded in 483 CE by Saint Sabas, this monastery became a cornerstone of Christian monasticism, deeply influencing Orthodox traditions across the region. Even today, Mar Saba upholds strict religious customs. Only men may enter, while women must observe from a designated tower. Inside, monks live a life of prayer, silence, and isolation, mirroring the spirit of countless seekers who once fled to the desert in search of. Some places defy not just history, but survival itself. The Negev Desert and the Dead Sea are among them, lands so harsh they seem inhospitable. Yet civilizations have risen here, carving out life where nature offers little mercy. Nabatean traders, Egyptian miners, Byzantine pilgrims, and modern explorers have all left their mark. Their stories are embedded in ruins, etched into canyon walls, and reflected in the still, shimmering waters of the Dead Sea. At 430 meters below sea level, the Dead Sea is Earth's lowest point. Despite its name, it's not a sea but a hypersaline lake, 10 times saltier than the ocean. No fish can survive here, but its mineral-rich waters have drawn people for millennia. Ancient Egyptians valued its salt for mummification, and Cleopatra is said to have secured exclusive rights to its mud for her beauty rituals. Even King Herod built palaces along its shores, recognizing its healing power. Today, visitors still float effortlessly on its dense waters, covering themselves in therapeutic black mud. But this ancient wonder is vanishing. Due to water diversion and climate change, the Dead Sea shrinks more than 1 meter each year. Sinkholes now swallow roads and buildings. In a few decades, it may be unrecognizable. Yet for now, it remains an otherworldly oasis, where the laws of nature seem to bend. With no rivers to rely on, they mastered water collection through intricate stone channels and reservoirs, capturing every precious drop of rain. Their ingenuity transformed the desert into fertile ground. Later, Shivta became a Christian pilgrimage site, with grand Byzantine churches rising among the dunes. But for reasons still debated by historians, the city was eventually abandoned, left to the sands. Today, its remarkably preserved ruins whisper stories of survival, faith, and ingenuity. And Shifta was not alone. The Nabateans built a vast desert trade network, Settlements like Avdat thrived by channeling every droplet into sustaining life. Their water harvesting techniques, developed over 2,000 years ago, remain among the most advanced of the ancient world, a legacy of human innovation in one of Earth's harshest environments. Further south, the desert reveals one of its greatest geological mysteries, Maktesh Ramon, a 40-kilometer-long erosion crater. Unlike volcanic or meteor craters, a Maktesh is a uniquely Israeli landform found mostly in the Negev and Sinai. Millions of years ago, this region was submerged beneath an ancient sea. Over time, wind and water sculpted the exposed rock into an alien landscape, striped sandstone cliffs, jagged peaks, and canyon walls revealing layers of Earth's geological past. For centuries, only nomads and traders dared cross this land. Today, it draws those who seek vast horizons, silent nights beneath star-filled skies, and a profound sense of timelessness. But even this ancient land holds secrets older still. In Timna Park, history goes back over 3,000 years, to the time of the Egyptian pharaohs. Here, bizarre rock formations rise from the desert floor, none more iconic than Solomon's pillars, towering sandstone columns shaped by the elements over millennia. Beneath the surface lies copper, one of the earliest metals humans ever mined. As far back as 5,000 years ago, Egyptians extracted copper from Timna's earth, leaving behind smelting furnaces, hieroglyphs, and temples dedicated to Hathor, the goddess of mining. Today, Timna is where geology and archaeology collide, offering a glimpse not just into the Earth's deep past, but into the lives and ingenuity of those who first harnessed its treasures. Europe may be far away, but here on Israel's Red Sea coast, echoes of its ancient trade routes once pulsed with life. This region was a vital hub on the incense route, where spices and perfumes flowed between empires. According to biblical tradition, it's from these very shores that King Solomon's fleet may have once set sail. But Eilat is more than just a page from history, it's a natural marvel. The Red Sea dazzles with vibrant coral reefs, playful dolphins, and rare marine life, making it one of the world's top diving destinations. In one of the driest regions on Earth, these resilient reefs continue to thrive, offering scientists crucial insights into preserving marine ecosystems in the face of climate change. Far to the north lies another body of water with a different kind of significance, the Sea of Galilee, Israel's largest freshwater lake. Fed by the Jordan River and surrounded by rolling hills, this serene lake has been at the heart of both empire and faith. From the Israelites to the Byzantines, from the Ottomans to modern-day pilgrims, these waters have seen it all. This is where, according to the Gospels, Jesus walked on water, calmed the storm, and called his disciples, transforming quiet fishing villages into the birthplace of a spiritual movement. On the lake's northern shore lies Capernaum, often called the town of Jesus. Here he taught in the synagogue, healed the sick, and gathered his first disciples, including Peter and Andrew. The ruins of a 4th-century synagogue built atop older basalt foundations still stand, a powerful reminder of the town's pivotal role in early Christianity. Towering above the lake's western edge, Mount Arbel offers panoramic views of the Galilee, but its cliffs hold a darker past. In the 1st century BC, Jewish rebels took refuge in its caves, resisting Herod the Great's forces, only to be met with brutal repression. Today, the mountain's heights are a silent tribute to resistance and resilience. Beyond the lake, Mount Tabor rises in the distance, believed to be the site of the Transfiguration. According to the Gospels, this is where Jesus revealed his divine nature to Peter, James, and John. At its summit stands the Church of the Transfiguration, built on Byzantine and Crusader foundations, its golden mosaics capturing a celestial moment in Christian faith. From here, sweeping views stretch across the Jordan Valley and the Golan Heights, a landscape as awe-inspiring as the stories it holds. If history had a crossroads of conquest, it would be Megiddo. Strategically perched in northern Israel, this ancient city controlled the Via Maris, the vital trade route linking Egypt and Mesopotamia. For over 4,000 years, Megiddo was one of the most contested places on Earth. From Pharaoh Thutmose III's legendary siege in 1468 BC to battles fought by Assyrians, Babylonians, Persians, Greeks, and Romans, empires clashed here for control. Even King Solomon fortified its gates. In modern times, the British secured a pivotal World War I victory on this very ground. But Megiddo's legacy goes beyond history. In the Book of Revelation, it is named as the site of Armageddon, the gathering place for the final battle at the end of days. Today, Megiddo National Park reveals 20 layers of civilization, massive city gates, ancient stables, and an underground water system engineered to outwit siege. Standing atop its heights, gazing over the Jezreel Valley, it's easy to understand why armies fought for this land, and why Megiddo endures as both a historical treasure and a prophetic symbol. Some cities are forged by history, others by sheer ambition. Along Israel's Mediterranean coast, these forces converge. More than 2,000 years ago, King Herod the Great envisioned a city to rival the finest of the Roman Empire. The result was Caesarea, a marvel of Roman engineering complete with a deep-water harbor, bathhouses, an amphitheater, and a palace poised over the sea. It was a city of governors and grandeur. Roman officials ruled Judea from here, including Pontius Pilate, whose name was later found inscribed on a stone among the ruins. The grand hippodrome, once echoing with the thunder of chariot races, still stands, but even great ambitions fade. Over the centuries, Caesarea was conquered by Persians, Byzantines, Crusaders, and Mamluks, eventually abandoned and buried beneath time and sand. Today, waves crash against the remnants of an empire, while Caesarea's ruins offer a hauntingly beautiful glimpse into a civilization that once dreamed of ruling the world. Yet while Caesarea faded, Jaffa endured. One of the oldest ports on earth, Jaffa is where myth and history walk hand in hand. This is the place, according to biblical tradition, from which Jonah fled before being swallowed by a great fish. It was a critical crossroads for Phoenicians, Egyptians, and Romans. Napoleon stormed its gates in 1799 during one of the bloodiest episodes of his Middle Eastern campaign. Over centuries, Jaffa became a cultural meeting point, where mosques, churches, and synagogues rose side by side. By the late 19th century, waves of Jewish immigrants began arriving through Jaffa's port, reshaping its identity. By the time Israel was founded in 1948, Jaffa had transformed from a predominantly Arab city to a place of layered narratives and shifting borders. Today, its winding alleys, ancient clock tower, and art-filled markets blend the past with a vibrant, multicultural present. From this historic port, a new city emerged, Tel Aviv. Just over a century ago, it was little more than a collection of sand dunes. Today, it's a pulsating metropolis where sleek skyscrapers rise alongside Bauhaus-style buildings, earning it the nickname, the White City, and a UNESCO World Heritage designation. Along its Mediterranean shores, surfers and sunbathers mingle on lively boardwalks while open-air cafes buzz with conversation. Tel Aviv is a city where history meets innovation. From the charming streets of Neve Tzedek to the high-tech heart of the Israeli startup scene, often called Silicon Wadi, Tel Aviv thrives on creativity and change. Its vibrant nightlife, cutting-edge cuisine, and renowned vegan food culture make it one of the most dynamic cities in the world. Markets like Carmel and Levinsky overflow with spices, flavors, and stories from across the region. Yet Tel Aviv is not just about business and beaches. It's a beacon of diversity and self-expression. In a region often marked by conservatism, Tel Aviv stands apart. It's widely known as the LGBTQ capital of the Middle East, with one of the largest pride parades in the world, rivaling cities like Amsterdam and San Francisco. In fact, Israel has some of the strongest LGBTQ legal protections in the region, making it a rare haven for freedom and acceptance. From vibrant street art to music festivals, the energy here is electric. Tel Aviv is a city where the past is never forgotten and the future is constantly being rewritten. Once the gateway to the Holy Land, Acre, or Akko, has been a city of warriors, traders, and dreamers. From the Phoenicians to the Crusaders, Mamluks, and Ottomans, every empire left its mark. When Jerusalem fell in 1187, Akko became the last hope of the Crusader world. Behind its mighty walls and through its underground tunnels, a bustling port bristled with soldiers, pilgrims, and the dreams of a broken kingdom. For over a century it held strong, until 1291 when Mamluk warriors stormed the city, extinguishing Christian rule on the mainland. But while other Crusader cities faded into ruin, Akko endured. Under Mamluk, then Ottoman rule, its port remained vital, a crossroads of cultures, a place where Arab and Jewish communities lived side by side. Today, Akko stands not as a relic, but as one of the most beautifully preserved medieval cities on earth. Walk its ancient streets, explore its hidden tunnels, climb its stone ramparts. Here, history does not sleep. It whispers. North of Akko, the slopes of Mount Carmel cradle a city unlike any other in the region, Haifa. While history shaped every corner of Israel, Haifa tells a different story, one of harmony. Jews, Christians, Muslims, Druze, and Baha'i not merely coexisting but living, working, and dreaming together. Haifa's port has always welcomed more than ships. It welcomed ideas and change. Today, it pulses with energy. Its universities and tech hubs spark innovation. Its food, music, and art speak in many tongues. Even a bite of falafel here carries generations of shared tradition. Beyond the city, nestled in the hills, are the villages of the Druze, a community shrouded in mystery. For centuries, they have preserved their faith, hidden in the folds of mountains and memory. But it is above all this that Haifa reveals its most sacred secret, the Baha'i Gardens. Flowing down Mount Carmel like a celestial staircase toward the sea, they are not just breathtaking, they are sacred. A prophet exiled from Persia found refuge here, laying the foundations for a new faith, the Baha'i faith, preaching unity, peace, and the oneness of humanity. Today, this sanctuary is its spiritual heart, open to all, regardless of race, religion, or gender. A beacon of hope in a fractured world. Haifa's story is not only about the past or the present, it is a glimpse of what's possible. When cultures don't just coexist, they thrive. And so our journey through Israel and the Palestinian territories comes to an end. From sacred hills to sun-drenched shores, from timeless traditions to visions of the future, this land has always been a crossroads. Of faith, of empire, of spirit. Its story is still being written, and its people continue to shape the pages. This is Israel and Palestine. Thanks for traveling with us. Wherever you are in the world, remember, home isn't just a place, it's a perspective. We'll see you in the next story, only here on Beyond Borders. Hit subscribe, share the journey, and stay curious.